Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today I have Forby. So real quick, Forby, just go ahead and give a quick hello.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm excited because this video is special, especially if you're a casual player and you're looking to improve. Forby is the definition of what it means to have skill in a video game, but also Forby works a full-time job, has a girlfriend, is a part of Soar Gaming, and really has found success despite having a lot of hurdles in life. So this video is designed and specific for everybody who's watching who wants to get to the next level. And he's going to give 5 important tips that go beyond just the normal tips that we all see on Apex Legends of like, this is what you need to do to improve. No, we're past that, and this is the video that you need to watch. First off, if you haven't, you need to check the description down below for all of everything Forby, because it's amazing just how much he's improved over time, but also his gameplay. So let's get into it. Forby, let us begin with tip number 1, which is time management. This is your list that you created, and I'm curious what you have to tell us about time management.
Yeah, so time management is one of those things that you really have to implement into your life when you're trying to balance things like this. Being in college, working a job, and trying to balance content is one of those things where, like, if you don't map your time out properly, then you won't be able to effectively push out content and like balance everything else along with it. With time management, you really have to like take the time that you feel motivated to do something and use that toward whatever it may be, whether it be to do your homework and get that done ahead of time so that you don't have to worry about it and you can have the extra time to stream, or you can get home from work, even if it's at like 9 o'clock, and sit on your computer, edit a video that you may have had footage from, from the prior streams of that week. Like, there's always some type of way that you can set yourself up for success in a way of like scheduling uploads, doing a batch of editing on days that you have off, just making sure that you can, build that consistency in your life essentially to balance it all. But it's very tough to do that and stay motivated doing that.
I have a question for you. When you're creating time management, do you have set times when you aim train, whenever you play? Because you talk about coming off of work. So if somebody's coming off work as a casual, what would be some of your recommended time that really got you going?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're not going the full content route and you just want to be able to balance your life and play the game as a whole, if you're a mouse and keyboard player, and even a controller player that may want to do this, is you could aim train to try and improve your aim in general when you're playing the game. But you could also do that to look at other players that you may know of and see what they're doing to break down their gameplay. And you can do that while, enjoying the content that you're watching, but also learning from it at the same time. Obviously, playing the game will make a huge difference, and putting the time in is really the biggest thing with Apex. But if you don't have that kind of time, there are ways for you to try and, expedite that process of improvement through other paths.
All right, next up we have tip number 2, discipline. Forby, what does it mean after time management? Discipline. So
the discipline aspect of it following with time management is, if you do get home from work, if you do really want something, you're going to put the time in for it. So instead of, maybe sitting on your couch and throwing on a show just to come down, you could do that for maybe 20 minutes when you get home, and then use the other time that you have to be disciplined and actually use that time to improve, or for whatever it may be. For content creators, it's a lot different because you really have to have that discipline to, edit all of your videos, all the content that you need to edit, schedule them to every platform you need to schedule them to, all while breaking down all the different contents, going from long form to short form, putting those out. You have to have the discipline to set that time aside and actually put the work in for it. Because if you don't, then you can get really patchy consistency and you may see less success because of it.
And when you say success, is it this, because we mentioned a lot about content creation as well. Let's highlight more as well the discipline that got you to improve, like steps that you took to get your aim better, that really starred your gameplay of what it is today, right? Of what people envy,
Well, for me personally, a lot of it became one of those things, like I personally have ADHD, so I tend to hyperfixate on things, and fortunately and unfortunately, Apex became one of those hyperfixations. And, coming from other games and being relatively good at those games, as I would say a like half casual player, I always kind of wanted to have a game that I took like really seriously. So Apex in itself was a big motivator, trying to just like compete with the best or try to become the best. And with the discipline over time, when I learned what aim training was, and I knew how much time you really had to put into aim training to like really get to where you want to be and how much faster you can actually make that process by doing that and implementing it into your gameplay. I would literally sit in calls with friends and just aim train for hours on end and then go play the game for probably half the time that I aim trained that day. But I did that for, you know, a couple of months, just prioritizing other things to just improve my overall mechanics as a player, not even just an Apex player, but a player in general. And you know, I just started to work other things in. Like me personally now, I don't aim train nearly as much as I used to, but I still do, you know, for 15 minutes to 45 minutes, sometimes before sessions. And if I don't do that, I'm sitting in the firing range for like 45 minutes to an hour before I even play the game.
Which is a large amount of time when you think about it, considering how many hours would you say it was before? So you had a long day of work, right? You come home and you essentially were mixing in chill time and relaxation to just doing something in the background, which became more or less you turn hard work into fun, essentially, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know what they say, you love what you do and you never work a day in your life.
There you go. I think that's such a fantastic advice, going from time management to discipline, where it segues to our next tip. All right, so tip number 3, which is the desire to improve. I feel like this kind of ties it all in together, where you're that casual coming home. And granted, we heard a lot about, you know, scheduling things such as content, about improving your aim. Now, where is the underlying factor behind everything, which is that desire to improve?
I mean, desire to improve is one of those things where, like, that's not even just something you can use for, you know, Apex and content creation. That's a life mindset. And that's one of those things where it's like, whatever you enjoy doing, you should want to improve at what that is, whatever it may be, simply not only so it can become easier for you, but you may have more fun doing it. Not only the process getting to that point. Me personally, and I'm a very competitive person, I always have, so this is, you know, it may be a little bit biased. I've never enjoyed losing in games. It doesn't matter if it's a casual game mode or whatever it is. Like it could be, you know, Modern Warfare 2 in 2009, just losing a search and destroy match. Like I'd get upset, you know what I mean? And I was always trying to get better at what I was doing, no matter what game I was playing, no matter if it was the editing style I was doing in my content, if I was improving at, you know, the consistency that I was putting out those videos, because, you know, I personally went from uploading once every month or 2 or 3 to every 2 weeks to every week to every 3 days now, you know, and that's something that takes time to build, but the desire to want to get to that point is what will push you to do more.
This is such an important tip, I'm not gonna lie, where it almost separates you out from everyone else. And I bet you people are asking, and because I don't know if I even have the answer to this, where maybe it's just the taste of success or wanting that urge to be better. What if somebody doesn't have it? What if they don't have that desire urge right now, but they're watching this video wanting to improve? What would you say to them?
I mean, at the end of the day, success is objective, okay? So you can take learning a movement tech as a success. You could take one clipping someone as a success. You could take doing 100 damage to someone as a success. It's all a matter of how you perceive things. If you notice when you're doing those things, then you're noticing when you're having good moments, and those are generally moments of improvement. Most people know what that feeling feels like, and the difference between people who like truly want to get better and the people who like don't really have the desire is that the people who truly want to get better will continue to chase that feeling no matter how far they go. They will chase that feeling like it's like they have to get it again, you know, like they have to keep improving and keep getting that feeling of like, okay, I can tell that today I played really well. I was one clipping a lot of people. I was doing a lot of movement. I was implementing it into my gameplay, which, you know, at the end of the day, if you are a casual player playing this game and you don't move around like, you know, super crazy, let's say you're, you know, a controller player that just plays the game casually, you know, if you take the wins that you have, the little wins that you have, and run with them, and you're happy with those wins, then if you chase that, I don't even know how to say
you'll go really
this,
far. I know what you're saying. It's I guess for everybody watching, because that's such great advice. It's like understanding what little wins are and realizing, instead of trying to say, well, I need to be the best player today, realizing what those steps are and enjoying that journey and process, right? Is that really what it is?
The journey is genuinely part of the enjoyment behind doing it, you know? And unfortunately for a lot of people, they don't see their own improvement. And that's, you know, a lot of just a matter of self-confidence and not actually taking those little wins for what they are and just saying like, oh, I should be able to do that, and just like downplaying them, you know what I mean? And that will quite literally kill your motivation to improve, because you just consistently see yourself as stagnant. And unfortunately, like I said, for a lot of people, that happens to them and they lose the desire to improve at that point.
I think this segues to your next tip, which is really important, but can also probably be boring for most, is routine.
Yeah. So routine is one of those things where it kind of ties back into time management. You know, it's kind of like you don't necessarily have to have a routine, but it all falls back on, like I said, time management and discipline. If you have a routine, then a lot of things will become natural for you. That sitting down when you get home from work to edit a video for 45 minutes and not really worry about it, or to come sit in the range and just practice for 45 minutes to an hour, that will become less of a like, oh my God, I don't have any time, and more of like I do this on X day every week and I've been consistent with it. It doesn't take away too much of my time. I have the other time for other things. And that's kind of like this tip is quite literally hand in hand with time management, because if you don't block things out properly, like if you have time management and then you build that into a routine, then everything essentially becomes natural for you. And there might be some weeks where you get less content than others, you know, and that's gonna happen. That's the world that we live in with content. But, you know, if you have that routine of like, okay, I definitely need to edit this, instead of like just having it completely leave your brain, you know, like I know that I have homework I have to do, and I know I have videos that I have to get out, and I know that I have to stream on X days, and I know that those are my days to do those things. And I have time blocked out to do those things specifically. And that will help you not only gain that discipline to do those things, but also feel like it's less of a chore and enjoy it more, because you've been doing it for a while and at the same time on the same day, you know?
Routine and habit. It's
like going to the gym at 6 a.m., you know?
Yeah,
like
once you do it, it becomes
is.
something you want, you desire, or even, oh gosh, I remember regretting not making this a routine, but when I was learning violin younger, right? They said you have to do this every single day at a certain time. And it's hard. It really is, because it can get
genuinely is.
It gets boring. It makes you lose your desire unless it's something you truly want, right? And that's what really separates you if it's something you love. Like you're mentioning, you fixated on it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where if you don't fixate on it, you could fall out of love with that. But you also have to know your own potential and, you know, where you can really succeed and thrive. You know, like if I had probably half the time that I had in Apex, I probably wouldn't be as motivated to do what I'm doing now. But because I know where I am as a player and where I can, you know, make content and be consistent with it, I know that I can, you know, even if it's a slow growth, I can grow. Like I can do this, you know? And that's the thing that really keeps me going, is that I know that I have the potential to do it. And if you believe in yourself, then it'll take you so far, like so far.
And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been doing making content since I was 12 years old. You know, I've been doing this for 10 years. This is something that I've wanted for so long. So like I have that hunger to make it to where I want to make it, and continuously just work hard and try and balance everything. Like there are days where I'm exhausted and like I have so much that I have to do, but even if I take that one day off, I'm going to make up for it some other time. And it's going to be sometime soon, because I got to keep the consistency. You know, that's the discipline.
Speaking of love and your love for things, let's talk about tip number 5, which is your support group.
Yeah. So having a support group, especially as a content creator, is a very, very important thing. If you're around people who are content creators or even just Apex players, you know, if you're playing with consistently casual players who have a different mindset than you have, then you may not see yourself growing as fast as you may, you know, expect to improve in the game, because you're not surrounding yourself with people who have that same mindset. Me, when I first started playing the game pretty heavily, I was pretty into ranked, and I was always one of those people where like I always felt like I was the bad person on the team, you know what I mean? And so I was always trying to play ranked and surround myself with the correct people who wanted to improve and get pred and get masters and try and like effectively play the game and be smart about it. And that helped me implement the mindset of like, okay, you know, if you surround yourself with the right people, then you can really go far, you know? Like my girlfriend Bandit is one of my biggest, like, not only motivators, but supporters, you know? And if I didn't have her, I don't know how consistent I would be or where I would be, because she's pushed me so much just to keep that consistency and discipline. and just keep working at what I've been doing the entire time, as well as all the friends that I've, came up with over the last 3 years, like every single one of us has the same mindset of like trying to always get better, whether it be improve the editing, improve my gameplay, improve the way I like look when I'm in game, improve my thought process in game, improve my consistency in uploading, whatever it may be, like I'm always trying to improve because of the people I'm surrounded by.
Well, man, thank you so much for all these tips. Hearing your thought process behind everything is why I love the fact that we made this video. It's different from anything that's ever been posted on YouTube, talking about the real things instead of just the same old coming back. So I appreciate you just spending a little bit of time. And guys,
yeah, of course,
if you haven't, you got to follow 4B. Watch him on Twitch, watch him on YouTube. He is going to be one of the fastest growing names that you see on Apex and then any other game, an FPS game that you see, because of these factors. So be sure to support him, watch his stuff, and also, his girlfriend Bandit, who's also grinding as well. Give a little shout out for her. So
heck yeah.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Comment down below if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys all in the next one.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.